Hello, and welcome back to day number 91. And today's story is Boaz. My name is Mary. There was a very rich man named Boaz living in Bethlehem. At that time, he owned large fields that were very fertile, and he was related to the family of Elimelech, Naomi's dead husband. It was the custom in Israel not to gather all the stalks at harvest, but to leave some for the poor people who followed after the reapers and gathered that was left. When Naomi and Ruth came to Bethlehem, it was the time of the barley harvest, and Ruth went out into the fields to glean the grain the reapers had left. It so happened that she was gleaning in the field that belonged to Boaz, this rich man. Boaz came out from town to see his men reaping, and he said to them, "Who is the young woman I see gleaning in the field?" They answered, "It is the young woman from the land of Moab, who came with Naomi. She asked to glean after the reapers and has been here gathering grain since yesterday." And I'll show you the picture of Ruth. Here she is collecting stalks. Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen to me, my daughter. Do not go to any other field. Stay here with my young woman. No one shall harm you. And when you are thirsty, go and drink from our water jugs." Ruth bowed to Boaz and thanked him for his kindness to a stranger in Israel. Boaz said, "I have heard how true you have been to your mother-in-law, Naomi, in leaving your own land and coming with her to this land. May the Lord, under those wings you have come, give you a reward." At noon, when they sat down to rest and eat, Boaz gave her some of the food. He said to the reapers, "When you are reaping, leave some of the sheaves for her, and drop some sheaves from the bundles so she may gather them." That evening, Ruth showed Naomi how much she had gleaned and told her of the rich man who had been so kind to her. Naomi said, "This man is a relative of ours. Stay in his field as long as the harvest lasts." And so Ruth gleaned the fields of Boaz until the harvest had been gathered. At the end of the harvest, Boaz held a feast on the threshing floor. After the feast, following Naomi's advice, Ruth went to him and said, "You are a near relative of my husband and of his father. Elimelech, please be kind to us for his sake." Boaz soon fell in love with Ruth and married her. After the wedding, Naomi and Ruth went to live in his home. So Naomi's life was no longer bitter, but pleasant. Boaz and Ruth had a son named Obed. Later, Obed had a son named Jesse, and Jesse was the father of David, the shepherd boy who became king. So Ruth, the young woman of Moab, who chose the people and God of Israel became the mother of kings. And that was the word of the Lord. Now the questions. Number 1, what does it mean to glean grain? What does it mean to glean grain? And the second part of number 1, why did Ruth do it? Why did Ruth do it? Number 2, how did Boaz act toward Ruth? Number 2, how did Boaz act toward Ruth? Number 3, what happened to Ruth and Boaz? What happened to Ruth and Boaz? Number 4, who was related to them? Number 4, who was related to them? And that was the end of our story and discussion questions. May you have a pleasant day, and may God bless us all. Bye-bye for now.